Have you ever been scrolling online? You find the perfect house, the pictures are amazing, and then you show up in person and find it's, well, not quite the same? That's what we're calling the real estate catfish. And now, in California, a new law is about to completely change the game. So let's break down exactly what AB 723 means for buyers, sellers, and agents all across the state.
Yeah, that quote, it just hits you right in the gut, doesn't it? That sinking feeling is all too real. So many of us have been there. You invest your time, you get your hopes way up, and then, bam, reality hits. The house looks nothing like the pictures, and there's really only one word for it: catfished. You're lured in by this perfect online profile, but what you get in real life is a whole different story. This has gotten so common that the state of California has basically decided, okay, enough is enough.
So you gotta wonder, how did we even get here? How did things get so bad that we actually need a law for it? Well, this whole real estate catfish thing didn't just pop up overnight. It's been a slow burn. Let's take a quick look back at how we got to this point. Believe it or not, this has been building for about 20 years. Back in the early 2000s, it started with just little tweaks here and there. Then, in the 2010s, virtual staging got so big that the MLS had to start requiring disclosures. But now, oh man, with the AI tools we have today, it is a whole new ballgame. We're talking literally erasing utility poles from the sky or turning a dead brown lawn into a lush green paradise. That line between making a photo look good and just straight up deceiving someone, it's gotten really, really blurry. And you guessed it, that blurry line is exactly why California decided to step in. So let's talk about their official response, Assembly Bill 723. All right, so here it is, Assembly Bill 723. And get this, the whole law is only about 580 words long. But don't let that fool you, it packs a serious punch. Here's the deal. Starting January 1st, 2026, if an image in a listing has been digitally altered, agents must disclose it. And it doesn't stop there. They also have to give potential buyers access to the original untouched photos. Okay, so this is the million-dollar question for every agent, every broker, every photographer out there. What's just a simple touch-up, and what crosses that line into something you have to disclose? The new law actually draws a very clear line. The big question to ask yourself is this: does the edit alter the physical reality of the property? Basic stuff, like adjusting the lighting, correcting color, or sharpening an image. That's all fine. No disclosure needed. But the second you start changing the property itself in the photo, that's when you've crossed the line. Making dead grass green, removing a pile of junk that's actually there, or adding a digital fire to a fireplace. Yep, those things materially change what a buyer would see, and they absolutely require a disclosure. Okay, so knowing what to disclose is one thing, but that's only half the battle, right? Now you need to know how to do it the right way. The law lays out 3 pretty simple steps. First, the disclosure has to be reasonably conspicuous. That means no hiding it in the fine print. Second, it needs to be placed right there on or next to the altered image. And third, you have to provide a way for people to see the originals, whether that's a direct link, a URL, or even a QR code. Now you might be thinking, okay, so this is just for the official MLS listings, right? That's a super common question. But the law's answer is a big, fat no. Its reach goes way, way beyond that. Seriously, this law's reach is comprehensive. Think of it like this. If a potential buyer can see an image before they make an offer, the law applies. That means the MLS, agent websites, real estate portals like Zillow, and yes, even your social media feeds. There is no loophole for Instagram or Facebook. If an image is altered and you're using it for marketing, you have to disclose it, period. But what happens if someone just ignores these rules? Well, let's be clear. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. This is a law, and it has some very real teeth. The state is not messing around with enforcement. If you don't comply, you could be looking at some pretty severe consequences. We're talking disciplinary action from the Department of Real Estate, and if you're willfully breaking the law, you could even face criminal charges. But for most agents and brokers, there's one area that poses the biggest risk of all. And that biggest risk is civil liability. Just picture this. You've got a buyer from out of state who makes an offer based only on photos that were altered without disclosure. They show up, and the property doesn't match those pictures. Well, they have a clear-cut claim for misrepresentation. And trying to plead ignorance or saying, well, we thought the edits were acceptable, that's just not going to be a valid defense. There's an ancient legal principle that says it all. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Every single real estate professional in California is responsible for knowing and following these new rules, plain and simple.
So what does all this mean for the future? Is this the end of beautiful real estate photography as we know it? No, not at all. And this is so important to understand. AB 723 does not ban photo enhancement. It simply demands transparency. The whole goal is to build trust by letting buyers know which images represent reality and which are maybe a little more aspirational. For agents who already operate with integrity, this isn't a barrier. It's a tool for building credibility.
A big question that's come up is, what do you do about old listings that you might reactivate after the law takes effect? The law doesn't explicitly talk about this, so the safest path forward is to just assume you have to comply. And most importantly, talk to your broker's compliance team. It's always better to be safe than sorry. And that really leaves us with this final thought. Is this new law just a common sense move toward transparency that protects consumers and builds trust? Or is it a new marketing hurdle that's going to complicate how you present a property in its best possible light? The answer is probably somewhere in the middle, and it's something the entire industry will be figuring out together come 2026.